Iraqi Dinar Guru Opinions January 23, 2025. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. January 23, 2025 Intel Guru Frank 26, Iraq Boots on the Ground Report, Firefly. CBI on TV News saying new banknotes will circulate with the existing ones and there are no plans to pull the older notes. They will coexist. Then they talked about the new security features on the new banknotes that are coming out. They are preparing this to give us the new small category notes. Frank, those 30 notes will be exactly like the new small category notes minus the zeros, and instead of a 25 it'll be a 20. January 23, 2025 Intel Guru Mark Z, via PDK, question. Any new predicted rate on dinar and dong? Mark Z. Still hearing, and what makes the most sense is $4 to $4.50 on dinar and $2 to $3 on the VND. Some of the rates we have seen most often is $3.90 to $4 showing up on dinar and $2.40 to $2.50 showing up for the dong. We won't know for sure until we are at the banks. January 23, 2025 Intel Guru Wolverine, via Judy Byington. This has been a long journey for all of us. It seems all is ready. The liquidity and money is there and we are ready to go. I have spoken to people who actually have appointments with banks, and I've seen bank accounts. All is ready to go. This time it is real. It is real. Am I excited? January 22, 2025 Newshound Guru Claire article. Trump's confidant after inauguration. Iran's militias control Iraq and the president will fix the situation. Quote, U.S. Republican representative and close associate of Trump, Joe Wilson, considered that Iran controls the government in Iraq. Wilson said in a tweet on the X website that Iran was defeated in Lebanon and Syria. But it still rules Iraq. Iranian-backed militias in Iraq threaten the United States and its allies and must be dealt with. Trump will fix the situation. Quote, January 22, 2025 Intel Guru Frank 26 Iraq loves Donald Trump because they know what he did and what he's about to do with our currency, the American dollar, and their float. January 22, 2025 Intel Guru Mark Z, via PDK, comment. Guru, militiaman theorizes that the ID is worth 40% more than the Kuwait dinar due to oil reserves. My math guesses it will be around $4.50 plus. Reference militiaman post January 21, 25 below. Mark Z. I very much agree with militiaman. I don't know if he took into account the 2 billion barrels of oil they just discovered this week, but it is looking good. January 22, 2025 Newshound Guru militiaman article. Great progress has been made by Iraq in the filing of the joining of the World Trade Organization after resuming negotiations that were suspended. They didn't do it at 1310. Are they ever going to do that? I don't think so. Why didn't they do it years ago? If nothing is going to change and they're going to keep it the same, how are they going to pay for that? I think it's far cheaper for Iraq to bring on a real effective exchange rate to meet compliance with Article 8 of the IMF Article 4.2. I think it's pretty exciting. January 22, 2025 Newshound, Intel Guru Walking Stick de-dollarization gave the CBI full control of their exchange rate of their currency and it put them in Article 8 compliance. No restrictions. Therefore there is no outside interference right now concerning their monetary reform. Nothing can stop, delay the new exchange rate that is coming. They are now in full control of their currency, exchange rate. January 22, 2025 Newshound Guru Sandy Ingram Republican Congressman Joe Wilson, a close ally of President Donald Trump, claimed, Iran exerts control over Iraq's government and its armed factions pose a significant threat to the United States. Posted on X, Wilson stated Iran has been defeated in Lebanon and Syria but still runs Iraq. He further emphasized Iranian-backed militias in Iraq threaten the US and our allies. They must be dealt with. Trump will fix it, the Post said. Stay tuned. Things are happening fast. January 22, 2025 Newshound Guru Claire article. Al-Sudani in a telegram to Trump. We are committed to strategic relations under the umbrella of respect for sovereignty and non-interference. Quote. Iraq aspires to strengthen the bonds of cooperation and partnership with the United States, within the framework of the strategic agreement and the common interests of the two countries. stressing the importance of working to support the foundations of stability, security and development regionally and internationally. January 22, 2025 Intel Guru Frank 26, Iceman update. Iceman served 3 hitches in Iraq. He had to come home. His interpreter is still there, she calls once in a blue moon. Her father's brother is in charge of one of the 4 major banks in Iraq. It was over 2 years ago that she called the Iceman and said, "Iceman, you were right. We are going to be given new currency. We are going to be given purchasing power." Iceman: "Why do you say this?" Interpreter: "My uncle just took me and my dad in the back and we saw what they're doing. It looks like the old currency my dad said from the old days." Iceman: "From today, they have released some small notes, printed vision impaired notes. 1, 5, 10, 20, 50 and 100s. January 22, 2025 Intel Guru Mark Z, via PDK. "We did get one update from a bond conference call last night that yes. They were told in that call that President Trump was the magic. And things are now moving forward. That now makes 2 check-ins saying now that Trump is in office. The decision was made and they are now moving forward. They were told they are putting money in accounts to be funded on Thursday." Question: Do we still have to wait for 30% of the bonds to go before we get to go? Mark Z: "I don't think we have to wait for 30% to go. I think now, when they pull the trigger it will all go at one time, at this point." January 22, 2025 Newshound Guru Jeff: "The number one thing that's going to resolve Baghdad and Kurdistan issue is going to be the oil and gas law. This is why they seem to have this never-ending matter of differences. They need the oil and gas law completed. That's what resolves all these matters. The oil and gas law is a never-ending subject because it's waiting for the rate to change to complete." January 22, 2025 Newshound Guru Claire article. "Auction does not build the economy." Quote: "The central bank did well recently and left the auction platform and returned to respect its currency, which is the dinar. The most important step is to zero out the dinar and buy the 1,250 old dinars for 1 dinar of the new currency during the exchange after printing the 1 dinar denomination. And the value of 1 dinar will be $1. Making the value of 1 dinar equal to $1 will keep the citizen, merchant, traveler, doctor, etc. away from running after the dollar." January 22, 2025 Newshound, Intel Guru MNT Goat article. Iraq issues new banknotes with innovative security features for the visually impaired. Photos: These new versions of the 30 notes should not worry you. I will emphasize once again, the CBI has told us many times in the past that these 30 notes are not going away. For some time, even after the project to delete the 3 zeros is completed, Iraq will eventually be using dinar widely to pay for imports. Where are they going to get all this cash to pay for very large sums, costs of imported goods? As time passes, much of these transactions will be electronic, but not yet. The banks would still need the larger 30 notes. January 22, 2025 Newshound, Intel Guru MNT Goat. Next. The CBI has specifically told us many times these larger notes will still exist and will be used behind the scenes for interbanking transactions. Of course they will be taken out of the mainstream circulation but will still remain as legal tender. My CBI contact also told me the CBI was forced politically to print these notes because of the demand to satisfy the visually impaired. The fact that these notes will still remain legal tender even after the project to delete the zeros should make you feel good. No, the CBI is not going to screw us investors. January 22, 2025 Intel Guru Frank 26, Iraq Boots on the Ground Report, Firefly. Mr. Sami says, Amendment of Article 12 has nothing to do with the rate change. Article 12 is for the Kurds to get their money to cover their cost of extracting and transportation of salaries for the oil. Next they say we will have the budget tables. Frank. That means the budget now is going to be read line item by line item by line item, and the only way to fund those line items, the funding will have to be based on a different exchange rate. Because you cannot fund this budget at a program rate. Everybody waits for the new exchange rate. Everything waits for it. Firefly. We are very, very close. January 22, 2025 Intel Guru Mark Z, via PDK, article. Leaving the red list is an important step to attract international companies. This is all about going fully international without restrictions. They are off the red list and no longer considered dangerous. To be fully international, they need a currency that is not restrictive. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: IraqiDinarChat.net